Good evening. Welcome to the Raymond Select Board meeting for Wednesday, the 1st of April, 2015. I want to thank everybody who was able to change their schedules at short notice and come this week rather than next Tuesday. We did that to try to accommodate so that we would have 5 board members here. But as you can see, we only have 4 at the moment. Teresa is under the weather and didn't want to infect anybody. She will participate during the budget conversation by phone. So we'll give her a call when we get to that agenda item. So there will be 5 of us at that part. Anybody have a April Fool's joke?
Not a joke, Tyler.
There's no meeting tonight.
See?
We're not really here.
Yeah, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
The temperature?
The temperature, yeah, that's the joke. The snow, all right, we'll go with that. All right, first order of business, minutes of previous meeting dated March 10th, 2015. There a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any suggestions, corrections, additions? All those in favor?
I was not here, so I'll abstain.
All those in favor? It's 3-0, 1 abstention. Next item is the minutes from the March 24th, 2015 meeting, which was a joint meeting with the Budget Finance Committee. Took place last Tuesday. That set of minutes is 14 pages long, very detailed. Thank you for that, by the way. I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you have 2
Yeah.
abstentions.
We have 2 abstentions, so we don't have
What
Yeah,
about
we have
Teresa?
quorum.
Oh, Teresa's not.
we don't have a quorum, so we'll have to table that
Table that one.
to the next meeting for Teresa, if we could, please. Like a motion to go into a public hearing, please.
Make a motion to go into a public hearing to
Second.
hear an application for a malt liquor license for Fisherman's Catch.
Second.
Chief, is there somebody here that can speak to the inspection?
Absolutely. Inspection was performed at the Fisherman's
Chief,
Catch.
can you introduce yourself?
I can. Chief Tupper, Raymond Fire and Rescue.
Thank you.
An inspection was done today, actually, of the Fisherman's Catch facility. The few items that were open-ended have a plan of action and will be taken care of. Other than that, the facility is in shape and nothing should hold up the licensure, on our end anyway.
Do you know when they're planning to open?
That I don't know.
They'll
I
take
was
care
not
of,
present
they'll
at the
take
time.
care of the issues prior to opening?
Correct, they will.
Don, do you have anything about the,
No, normally I give you the standard spiel, and the only difference this time is that the life safety inspection was done today, not a week or so in advance, and everything's A-OK. As far as complaints, none. Concerns, none. So good to go, recommend approval.
anybody from the public like to comment on the liquor license for the Fisherman's Catch? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. I have a motion.
Make a motion to grant Fisherman's Catch a liquor license renewal.
Second.
All those in favor? Approved. Don, you have a signature page for us?
Thank you. I'm texting with our absent selectmen.
Is she trying to comment?
Well, right now she's disrupting the meeting, right?
No, she is.
A little bit, but
So it'd be like normal.
you say.
Nice.
Thank you, Louise. Next item of business is consideration of a public property use for the annual UCAN 5K road race. This is one of the items that did get disrupted by us moving the date this evening. Ed Gagne was going to be here next week, but was unable to make it this week, but he did send along a note, and I would ask Don to read his note.
Sure. It reads, "My name is Ed Gagne. I am the founder of the UCAN 5K. We started the race to celebrate the life of, all caps, Candace Woolston 2 years ago. Candace was a strong supporter of our community. She always helped with the playground, library, food bank, and many other town activities. Brenda Dion has also done a nice job of organizing the event with the help of about a dozen Raymond volunteers. The goal was to celebrate Candace's life while cross-pollinating with the Wyndham and Raymond communities. Candace as a teacher at Wyndham Primary School. We have had wonderful support from Nate of Public Works and Chief Tupper from the Raymond Fire. Safety is our #1 concern. We've had 2 very successful and safe events for the past 2 years. With some sponsorships, we've been able to make the town of Raymond a beneficiary of some of our funds. Our goal is to fix or build a new playground or something the Candace family would be proud of. The 5K is the same route as Ms. Lester and the founders of the Raymond Founders Day Road Race. I'll happily meet to discuss details at another time in person. Thank you, Ed." We do have a certificate of insurance, proof of insurance that satisfies the town. We have a completed application ready for your approval, which I'm recommending. We will coordinate any and all issues with them, and this is a great event for the town. I can tell you that Candace, from my perspective, I mean, she was a wonderful person. She was one of the originators of the Friends of the Playground, the Sherry Gagnon Park, and so worked with her closely for a number of years on that, and she's greatly missed by the Raymond community.
I'll make a motion to approve public property use for the annual UCAN 5K race.
Second?
Just to let folks out there know, the date of this year's race is scheduled to be June 20th of 2015. I did want to get that out there, and I'm not sure when applications will be available for this, but I'm sure if you search online you will find them. Anybody else have any comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous, 4-0. Greg, while we're signing, why don't you work your way up to the podium? Next item on the agenda is a new possible tree harvest request. Greg Foster, the town forester, is here to make a presentation on a possible new harvesting plan. Greg, introduce yourself and take it away.
Thank you. Greg Foster, 29 Ledge Hill Road, here in Raymond. A number of weeks ago, a logging contractor who is aware of a property that the town owns. It's a piece that's behind the maintenance garage. It's sort of an L-shaped piece, and it has frontage on Webb's Mills Road and Raymond Hill Road. He said he would be willing to do a thinning on that property. There's only about probably 3 acres of forest land. It's unusually small for a logging contractor to operate and pay for stumpage, but he said he was willing to do that and asked me if the town would consider it. And I said I would go to Don, and Don said, come see the selectmen. So here I am. So I did go out and look at the property. I found some corners. I'm not confident of the lines between some of the corners. I think that may be resolvable when the snow goes. There may be some pins I couldn't find. But I have an idea where the lines are, and the reason I tell you that is because I think if I were to mark that lot for an improvement type of thinning, there's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,500 of timber value that could be harvested from that property. And I would do the same thing I do on any property. I would thin the lot, long-term management type of thing, so it would be, you know, a continued to grow trees. It would look different. It would look a little thinner, but it would be proper forestry. And the logging contract, he's the same fellow, Mike Killinger, that did the work at the fire station. He said he also would be able to utilize the parking lot for the River Grange. I think Charlie Levitt owns that. Charlie said he could access the property in terms of getting, you know, the firewood, which would be some firewood and logs out. And I guess my question is, is can the select board, are you able to go ahead and just have me do a typical timber sale, or is it more complicated than that? Where I could just negotiate with a logging contractor and do a contract on behalf of the town and move forward with the timber sale? Is that doable?
What have we done in the past, Don?
Well, it's dependent upon the size of the sale, and so this is nowhere near the amount of, proceeds that would require any kind of a, town meeting vote or exceed your authority. So it's really at your pleasure, and, I mean, to me, it's not a, great big amount of money, obviously, but, every bit of money is great. And, the thing that's more appealing to me is the idea that we're now actively managing our forested properties, and with the idea of, health and sustainability. So I would say on that basis, I would recommend it, and I think it's within your authority to do it. Not mine, though, so that's why we're here.
Greg, a lot of wetlands on that.
Yes, sir.
Property. Is there a better time of year that you would recommend this being done?
Yeah, I would simply go, I would plan the timber sales when the ground is dry or frozen. And, we could do it later this summer. I did walk through there, and there are 2 significant drainages that would be a problem during this time of year, so not right now would not be good. But other times when it's, like I said, either dry or frozen, and I could just plan it whenever.
Is it
the
possible
conditions
that there's an abutter there that might want to get in on this?
Right.
Is
There-
there,
That's what I was gonna ask.
sorry, Sam.
It's
Still your
possible.
thunder.
There is the property that's next to that property and on the Egypt Road, they have some timber there that could go right through the town lot and be landed in the same place, yes.
So
I don't know those people. I'd be willing to contact them, and
I mean, I don't know if the contractor is interested in that, but I always think of that kind of joint harvesting if you're bringing in heavy equipment. So, any other questions for?
Yep.
I mean, Greg, do you have permission to use that parking lot in the Grange Hall?
I will get that. Even if we don't,
I mean, I hate for the town to be using a lot that's a private lot without a signed contract of some sort.
yeah. I've done that in past with other clients, and I certainly would do that here, yeah. And there is that an old road bed next to?
Yes, right beside the shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can come right up that way,
Yeah,
along
it's-
the road.
Even if we couldn't yard it there, I think there's a way to do it without using another person's property.
Okay.
So,
I'll make a motion to allow Greg to go ahead and figure out how to cut this timber.
I second that.
Any further discussion or questions?
Yeah, you had mentioned that there's a $2,500 revenue.
yeah, that's sort of a guesstimate.
Is that analysis from you or from the contractor?
That's from me. I walked through there, and I sort of had a little, some volumes and values in mind of what I think would come off from there. I'm looking at maybe a load of pine saw logs, a load of pine pulpwood, and maybe 50 cords of hardwood. And I did all the math, and that's where it comes to, somewhere around 2,500.
I mean, I'm not worried about that small amount of revenue. If you can clean that place up a little bit and make it look better,
Well, it is going to be a conventional timber sale. The logger will cut the trees, he'll limb them where they are. This gentleman does a really nice job. You will see slash for a period of time afterwards, and there's nothing wrong with that in terms of good forestry. The trees could care less about slash around their roots. But with time, it would certainly look much better in my mind. And I certainly would mark the diseased trees, crooked ones, any of them with conks or double tops, and I would think that would make its appearance better.
Anything else? All those in favor? 4-0. Greg, before you sit down, are we done harvesting up the old site on Patricia Avenue? Has that been completed?
No, it's not done. I did have some, he's probably got 2/3 of the property done. He came for maybe 10 days in February. He wanted to harvest one corner that was pretty wet while there was a lot of snow, so he could avoid rutting. And siltation and so forth. So we came and did that corner, and that came out really well, and he just sent me a check for that amount. It was around $15,000. And he still, let's see, including his down payment, I think he's paid us a gross amount of around $44,000. We still got a little ways to go. My estimate was $55,000. But he's paid about $17,000 in advance, a down payment, and so eventually he's gonna cut some wood against that down payment. But the way things are going, it looks like we're gonna meet my estimate.
And
By the end of June, which is,
Does it
remember
mean-
that revenue is counted on in this fiscal year.
Okay. He said he would come back as soon as Nathan takes the posters off the road.
oh, it's Nate's problem.
Oh, it's Nate's fault.
Although you never know, they seem to get jobs and then
If you,
delay coming back,
it's
so,
probably worth a note to remind him of that.
yep.
And the property next to ours is pretty much all cut as well.
They have not done that at all yet.
Haven't touched that one yet.
No, I'm not sure. I really haven't been involved with it. I don't know why. I assume he's gonna finish the towns first and then do that one.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anybody here to speak on the Civil War Memorial item on the agenda? If so, I'll take it out of order. If not, I'll wait till after the budget discussion. Okay. Next item on the agenda is item C, consideration and review of fiscal year 15-16 budget and approval of the 2015 annual town meeting warrant. It'll take us just a second to make sure we get this set up. I am going to call Teresa and get her up. We'll do a little bit of testing to make sure that that Dominic's all set before we start and that we can hear her. So.
Sounds low to me.
Sounds pretty good on my mic anyway.
Okay.
So whatever you guys.
Oh, the mic's right there though, yeah.
As soon as she
Hi.
talks, we'll hear her.
Hi, Teresa. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm turning you up a little.
Okay.
How can you hear us?
Yep.
Sam?
Teresa?
Hi.
Hi.
So Teresa, you sent us a text that said something about the fact that we were live on the air about 10 minutes before 7 and you could see what we were doing. However, you're probably fortunate you couldn't hear what we were saying.
I know. I'm sitting here watching you guys, and it's like, oh my God, they're live. Okay, don't anybody pick their nose or anything.
Good thought.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
And there's the archival copy for 100 years from now. There's your April Fool's story for 100 years from now.
There you go.
All right. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the rest of the board taking on the budget and the budget discussion and questions. I was out of town a lot this winter, and tonight, although I will go through and get the warrant approved, because I have not been involved in the discussion or the negotiations of tonight's budget, I am going to abstain from voting unless there's a 2-2 tie by the board on any of these articles. So again, I want to thank everybody involved with the budget. I have read most of the stuff and seen a lot of it, but I'm not comfortable in adding my 2 cents worth at this point. So,
Mr. Chair,
yes, Joe.
Before we get into the budget, as a matter of courtesy, we have Kurt LaBelle here, who lives a distance from here, and we have an article or an agenda item to do abatements. Any chance we could take that out of order so he doesn't have to sit here for the budget? Or do you want to sit here for that whole discussion, Kurt?
I'll leave your discretion.
Yeah, I apologize, Kurt. I thought you were here for the budget versus the article that's later. Anybody have an issue with that?
No.
Teresa, you good?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, why don't we do that then? Just, we'll put a pause on item C and we'll move on to item F, consideration of abatements and supplements as submitted by Kurt LaBelle, our assessor. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah,
Oh, thank
sorry,
you.
I'm sitting there gritting his teeth. I said,
Oh, no. Was it that obvious? My name is Kurt LaBelle. I'm the town assessor's agent. I did submit probably a fairly lengthy packet of tax abatements and supplemental assessments. A lot of background material with that. That being said, I did forget one item in the memo pertaining to the property on Crockett Road. You can see I mentioned a 2013 and 14 abatement to clear the invalid assessment on that property, followed by a supplemental. I did not put the 13 certificate in your packet. I have it here to sign, but it was omitted from the packet. So that's the only real change.
So Kurt, does it change any of the numbers or is it just a signature page?
Yeah, it's for the signature.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 4 abatements, Kurt, is that right?
Four for this year, for 2014, and then the 5th one would be the 2013 Golding abatement, which will be then followed up with a supplemental assessment. What happened with that one was Irene Golding passed away in 2012 and escaped the attention of the town, and so that property continued to be assessed to Irene in 2013 and 2014. You can't make an assessment to someone who's no longer alive. The property was set to go to tax foreclosure on the 2012 assessment. The heirs of Ms. Golding paid the 12 tax, but the 13 lien and the 14 assessment need to be corrected to get the ownership correct in order for a potential lien in the future to hold up. So that's really what we're looking to do with those. It's a cleanup effort.
So Kurt, the table you provided with us shows a abated valuation of approximately $350,000, which has a tax value of $4,100. Any other things of note other than the Golding property for us, or is everything else pretty straightforward?
The Ewig Realty LLC, you may well know from the packet that the requested valuation on that property was $885,000. The current assessment is $1.353 million. I'm recommending an abatement of $109,000 on that property, but that still leaves us a long ways away from the applicant's requested tax abatement, so there may well be some future activity. Just be aware that that's quite a disparity still between the two. Reviewing the property, and I really don't think that the 885 that's substantiated in the application is warranted, given the uniqueness of the property. We may well have to deal with that at a Board of Assessment review hearing in the future.
Okay.
Everything else is just pretty straightforward. You're talking house, square footage errors, lot size corrections, things like that.
How much money do we still have left in the overlay on these? After we pay this $4,000 out?
Well, out of that 4,000, we're gonna turn around and we're gonna supplement 1,700 right back. So we've really got about $2,400, and I don't have an exact number, but the previous abatements were pretty small. Right. I don't think we're in any danger.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is, we got this sheet today.
Yeah, right.
We had a $30,000 overlay this year, and next year you're recommending almost $67,000, which is
well, not really recommending it. but when you compute these estimates out, being a tax assessor, I'm always gonna recommend the lowest rounded commitment. So given that a 10-cent increment is $100,000, I couldn't go 1210 on it.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is
Yeah,
that
that's the only reason it's
on the
coming out
overlay
that way.
portion, you know,
Right.
we're at 31,000 this year,
Right.
round numbers.
Yeah.
Next year, you're saying we should be around 67.
If we want to produce a round commitment at 1220, that's the number that it spits out.
Okay.
But in reality, those numbers are, they're not
Pulling out of the
real.
air?
Yeah, they're not real. You know, we haven't even begun valuation work for the next assessment, so, you know, that's a best guess.
Okay.
That number could move around substantially by September.
I'm not gonna put Nancy on the spot, but I know this question was asked about overlay, and we were well under 10,000 the last time that I checked, and that was this year sometime. So even if you add 2,400 to it, we're approaching half
Right.
of the overlay, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We've hardly used it this year.
Right, yeah. And this would be the end of, the appeal period is over for the 2014 tax. So, you know, any abatements that might come over the summer are going to be followed up by a supplemental. They're going to be, you know, name corrections and things like that. So issues of value, this is going to be it unless something goes to the Board of Assessment Review or up to Superior Court.
So we'll take these one by one.
Yes, please.
Make a motion to grant Jay and Karen Peterson an abatement on their, where's the lot number? 010069.
Second.
Any further questions? All those in favor? 4-0.
I'll make a motion to grant Archie Tripp on lot 017042 an abatement of $311.52.
Second.
Any further questions? All those in favor? 4-0.
Make a motion to grant an abatement to Irene Golding in the amount of $2,204.24 on lot number 054056.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? 4-0.
Make a motion to grant an abatement of $1,294.46 to Ewig Realty on lot number 001019A.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor?
We got some more.
4-0. So the,
We got more, right?
now supplemental tax warrant. Is that next, Kurt?
You're gonna have one more tax abatement that Don handed you, and that's that 2013 one that is not in the packet. It's the same owner as number 7
Hold
on
on,
the
Kurt.
14 list.
So this does involve additional money.
Which is what you have right there.
This is a 13, that's gonna be a supplemental following that.
77.
That's an older assessment that needs to get, Irene needs to get cleaned off of there.
That's this one here.
Oh, okay, all right, so it's just, this is the name change portion.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a supplemental tax.
Okay. So this is to update the name on the account.
I'm making motion to change the name from Irene Golding on lot number 054056.
We're just making an we're abating that tax,
Okay,
yep.
make an abatement on 054056 in the amount of $2,101.50.
Second.
All those in favor? 4-0. Thank you, Kurt. All right, so now are we moving on to the supplemental tax warrant?
You can do that, or we also have one tax abatement which was recommended for denial.
I'm looking for that.
That's You have that one?
Go ahead.
Roger Jellinis Living Trust. This is property on Tarquin Hill.
Roger Jelinas, right?
Jellinis, yep, yep.
I'll
So
make
this
a
was
motion to deny the abatement request for the Roger Jelinas Living Trust, lot number 011-042-005.
Second.
What's the amount?
Well, it's been denied,
It's been
so.
denied, so there is no amount, but it's. Yeah, we'll assess that.
Is there a second?
15K,
Yeah,
yes.
it's been
It's been
seconded.
seconded.
Any further questions for Kurt? All those in favor? Thank you.
Do we need to do these supplemental tax warrants, or are we all set?
Yep.
We need to do those, right?
Right, so we're gonna issue 2 supplemental warrants, one for 2013, one for 2014,
Okay.
to
And
Mark
they're both for
Golding.
Mark Golding, right?
Right, yep.
Make
he
a
was the-
motion to grant a tax warrant for Mark Golding on lot number 054-056 for the amount of $1,726.88.
Second.
And this is, again, follow up on the name change.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
He was the personal representative of the estate for those 2 years, so he's going to get the assessment.
Any further questions? All those in favor? 4-0.
I make a motion to grant another supplemental tax warrant to Mark Golding on lot 054-056, the amount of $1,811.30.
Second.
Further discussion? All those in favor? 4-0.
These ones, they have to say.
Right.
Teresa, you still with us?
I'm with you.
All right.
Yeah. Do you want him now? You want me to bring him
I don't know if she's ever kept quiet that long.
Oh, I still heard that.
Yeah.
Are you disagreeing, or are you just commenting that you heard it?
I don't know.
My ears are the issue here, guys.
You want him to stick around?
Oh,
for a
I
few minutes
strep
to budget,
throat?
or no?
Yes.
But she can still talk.
What's that?
Yeah.
I do want to thank you for not coming and exposing yourself to us.
Oh, I should have came and gave each of you hugs.
That may have to be
So
worded
to
a little
speak.
different than that.
Any more, Don?
Just ones that I'm signing, none for you. And a note of instruction. That it?
No, a couple more.
Last one.
Thank you for doing that, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, thank you, Joe, for noticing it. I was thinking warrant and budget, not,
Because you're so excited about doing this.
I am so excited. So at this point, we'll move back to item C, consideration and review of fiscal year 15-16 budget and approval of the warrant. The board was given a corrected copy of the budget at the end of last week. I shouldn't say corrected, I should say updated copy after the meeting of last Tuesday, which was a joint meeting between the Budget Finance Committee and the Select Board. So at this meeting tonight, the Select Board will be voting on the warrant articles that will go to town meeting based on what we decide to do as a Select Board. We can choose to agree with what happened last Tuesday. We can raise, we can lower our recommendations from that. So those are all possibilities tonight. For the folks that are here in the audience, we will not be taking more testimony or rah-rah about any of the items unless the select board asks for comments or clarifications from them. So that is how we'll proceed tonight. We'll go through each of the warrants. Sue, I will ask you to keep me in line if I get off track here, what you need me to do, if you would, please. So,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, Sue.
if you were going to ask anyone in the audience a question that isn't a citizen, you haven't given permission to speak.
So does that mean Kurt actually wasn't just talking? Wow. Can I have a motion,
You can just say. seeing no
unanimous,
objection, I take unanimous consent.
unanimous consent to allow any non-citizens to speak and make it retroactive?
Yep.
Thank you. Does that work? Thank you, Sue. So I'm gonna go through the warrant. Article 1 is to elect a moderator. I don't believe we have to make a recommendation on that. Article 2. The Raymond Street Ordinance is adopted May 18th, 2002 and amended June 4th, 2013, be further amended by adding the underscored language and deleting language strike over as shown below. The Planning Board has recommended Article 2, and the Selectmen have recommended Article 2 at a previous meeting, correct?
Yes.
Or are we
At a public hearing.
at a public hearing?
Yes.
That's my understanding, I just want to be clear. So we have already recommended Article 2. Article 3 is the same thing. The Planning Board has recommended clarification, and the Selectmen have recommended Article 3 at a previous meeting. Article 4 is also the same thing. Definitions on minimum standards were recommended by the Planning Board, and the Select Board has recommended as well. Article 5, also a Planning Board recommendation, changes some tables and definitions. Planning Board has recommended Article 5, Selectmen have recommended Article 5 at a previous meeting. So that brings us to Article 6.
Make a motion to recommend Article 6.
Second.
Teresa, can you hear us?
Yep, I second.
So you can't hear us then?
So Lonnie, you might have to speak up just a
Yeah.
little.
Oh, Bonnie's just quiet.
You can third.
Any questions? Article 6, all those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Article 6 unanimous, 5-0. Article 8, to see if the Selectmen will vote to authorize the town to sell or dispose of property. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to recommend Article 8.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes. Yes.
So Teresa, when I say questions, if you have a question, speak up, please.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll ignore you.
Make a
No,
motion-
I won't let you.
I'll make a motion to accept Article 9.
Second.
Article 9 refers to when taxes are due. Any questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yep.
5-0.
Make a motion to approve Article 10.
Second.
Article 10 sets the percentage rate for the fiscal year. Any questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Make a motion to recommend Article 11.
Second.
Article 11 deals with disposing of town property valued not in excess of $35,000. Any questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
To see if the, oh, go ahead, Joe.
I'll make a motion to recommend Article 12 for discussion purposes.
Second.
Article 12, to see if the town will vote to authorize the selectmen to borrow from or appropriate from undesignated fund balance, i.e. surplus, as they deem advisable to meet unanticipated needs for the community that occur during the fiscal year with the amount not to exceed $75,000. Joe?
Have we ever come close to that 75,000? I know one year we had to buy a truck and we used the money. Other than that, have we come close to using 75,000? You know, I'm just looking at the overall scope of this budget right now, and I'm not comfortable with it yet, and I think we need to pare it down some. So I think I'll be willing to make this amount $50,000 this year, because
This doesn't have a direct impact on the budget.
on the budget,
No, in fact,
because
if you're
it
going to
comes
use
out of a designated fund balance.
Right.
Okay.
If you're going to use it, though, it brings up a good point. I thought you were going in a different direction.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to raise it. And the reason I would say that is if you raised it, the authority, you could perhaps, if you had some contingencies in the budget that were, you know, things that were cloudy at this time, you could remove them from the general operating budget and rely on this if they came to be.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking of this differently, that we actually appropriate money for it, but we don't.
No.
So I would just leave it at 75,000.
I think it was raised since I came on the board,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I think it's been 75 for a long time.
Right, it went from 35 to 75
Yeah.
back, probably 6 years ago anyway, 7 years ago.
Other questions or comments on Article 12? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Article 13.
Make a motion to recommend Article 13.
Second.
This allows the select board to transfer funds from appropriation accounts as long as the total is not exceeded. Any questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yep.
Unanimous, 5-0.
Make a motion to recommend Article 14.
Second.
Article 14 deals with the use of town equipment on public or private roads in cases of emergency or school needs, basically. Any questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve Article 15.
Second.
Article 15 deals with authorizing the tax collector or treasurer to accept payments of taxes not yet committed. Any questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Article 16.
I think we need to come back to this one so that
Okay.
we go through our entire budget process and then see how this all fits. I mean, we made some changes to it. Does it all fit under the TIF?
Not according to Kurt, they don't.
Okay. Which ones do not?
Can you put the microphone, possibly? Or, I don't know if Dominic, can you hear her? Just in case.
The warrant article calls for $236,876
Yeah.
to be taken from TIF,
Yeah.
but according to our assessors agent, Kurt LaBelle, we only have $226,000
So we gotta delete
available.
10,000 out of that.
Delete or move, right?
Right.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
So we have to take 10,000 that we put in the TIF now and put it back in the budget.
Yes.
Okay.
To be legal.
Okay.
So we should shoot for that number, Joe, which was
226.
226,000 even is what we should shoot for Article 16 by the end of our conversations.
And right now we have how much, Nancy? 236?
Yes, $236,876.
So we got 10,876.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so we are going to put Article 16 on hold, and we will come back to that. Article 17.
So, this new copy we have doesn't incorporate the changes?
The new copy of the
Should.
budget should incorporate the changes if it's the one you got out of your box that should have been put into your box.
The one Nancy handed me the other day.
That should have the changes.
Well, when I look under the administration, it's at 548, 374, which is what, is that what this says? And I have written down 547, 975.
I had to go through though and change some to 2%, some employees to 2%. So that made a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, okay.
So is there a small change, Joe?
Yeah. The budget committee recommended that instead of just doing the 1.4% raise for all employees, we're doing 2%.
For certain employees?
And that's what was voted on.
Well, non-management.
Non-management, full-time, I forget who else.
But that wasn't clarified, though, either. That was open for discussion that we were going to come back to, and we never did.
Right, it was 2% for full-time, part-time, non-union, non-management employees.
And that's what's reflected in
That's
the
what this number
administration?
is,
Yeah.
yes.
So is the number we see in Article 17, does that correspond to the budget?
Yes.
548,374?
Yes.
Okay. So that does include the 2%.
Yep.
So I don't believe we have a motion on the table yet. We probably should have one to discuss this.
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion to accept Article 17
For what amount?
for the amount of $548,374.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Comments, questions, further questions? Teresa, do you need clarification?
No, I'm good.
Seeing none, all those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
4-0, one abstention. Now that we're into the money, Sue, I won't be voting unless I have to, okay? Article 18, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $52,379 for the assessing account.
Make a motion to approve Article 18.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
4-0, or unanimous? 401, should I say? Then you don't have to look up, Sue, if I say that. Article 19, to see if the town will vote to raise $18,885 for the town hall account.
Make a motion to recommend Article 19.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Yes. 401. Article 20, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $490,187 for the insurance account.
Make a motion to accept Article 20.
Second.
Discussion, questions? I have a question, just because I don't know if it was talked about. We have had full placeholders for the insurance account in past years. Is that a possible place where we might estimate full placeholders a little bit lower for some of our reimbursement accounts, and then take it out of contingency if we need to? Yes.
You weren't here when I mentioned last week that the health insurance, I'm already taking into consideration that $12,000 will not be used in reimbursement.
Okay.
It's already.
While I think of it, what article is my selectmen's pay in?
We've already done that in administration.
We took it out.
You're already out.
Oh, it's already out?
You're not getting paid.
Oh, thank you for supporting me. I appreciate that. You were correct.
You lose your pay.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, I better be around next year. All right. Any further questions on the insurance count? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Yes, 401.
Make a motion to recommend Article 21.
Second.
Article 21 deals with appropriation of $6,000 for general assistance. Any questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Yes, 401. Article 22, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $184,271 for the technology department. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to grant, or make a motion to accept Article 22 as written.
I'll second.
Discussion, questions?
Yeah, can someone refresh my memory on the $7,000 increase in broadcasting expenses?
Is there- Dominic, can
They're
you?
moving the cost of operations, is that right?
Electricity and fuel.
Yeah. So it was in the technology budget, now it's going into just the broadcast studio budget, so it's not an increase, it's just a.
Better reflects the usage.
It is,
Exactly.
it does show as an increase because they were
Oh.
overspending the account because it wasn't really included in it.
So I guess I'm wrong, somewhat.
So this brings it more in line with what we normally spend.
With actual spending, yes.
So previously, you would have had to borrow from other accounts to make it even because you were not allowed to exceed the total. Thank you. Further questions on the technology, Article 22? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
401, Sue. Article 23, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $46,651 for community development.
Move to approve Article 23.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, we added $5,000 in for the Lake Region bus into the TIF. This might be a place to pull it out of the TIF and discuss whether you really want to fund this thing.
Okay, so under the TIF, which we have put on hold, there's $5,000 for the Lake Region bus, which is currently being run by RTP. They've come to all the towns to try to get cash because their grants are running out. So there's been a suggestion that the community development account be increased, or this would be a place to put it. This would be a logical place to put it, I guess. And so the discussion is, do we increase the Article 23 to accommodate the Lake Region bus, or is that something because we can't put it under the TIF that it doesn't fit anymore with our goals?
Well,
Discussion?
I say yes, put it under this. Give it another year, and if it doesn't work, we don't see more riders, then pull it out.
I hate to pull out already.
yeah, I concur with Teresa on
Yeah.
this.
So your number would increase to $47,151 on the warrant. Is that right?
Would increase
Oh.
to 51.
51,651. Yeah.
Nancy, this does not affect our bottom line tax-wise, correct? It's just a
Not
transfer?
tax-wise, but the net municipal budget.
Net municipal budget would change.
Meaning what?
The mill rate.
Oh, really?
It won't change the mill rate. It's the same amount, but it will affect you, how you look as regarding LD1.
And it affects certain state reimbursements and so forth. It's not sheltered.
Right. To the tune of about, what, $10 using your mill rate at let's
Just-
say 12, so you're talking about $60, right?
So we currently have a discussion point of changing Article 23 from 46,651 to 51,651, and in doing so, shifting the Lake Region bus $5,000 from the TIF. Any further discussion on the community development account? Point of order, do we vote down the original motion and then have a new motion?
Right, just
No
vote
need
on
to
the
do that.
amended motion.
Just amend the motion?
So, you know, you can make it an amendment that the new amount is $51,651.
Would you mind repeating the new amount a little louder?
$51,651. You're just moving 5,000 from the TIF to Article 23. You know, and my feelings on the bus is, yeah, I'll give it one more year, but boy, they got a long way to go. And, you know, I know supposedly every other town is gonna give them $10,000. I don't buy it, but
Well, we'll see.
it's a lot of money to spend and subsidize, you know, 10 people that ride that thing from Raymond at most. So,
Can I have a second to the amendment?
Second.
Do you have what you need, Sue? Any further discussion on Article 23? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Yes, 401. Article 24, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $671,477 for the fire rescue department. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to accept Article 24.
Is there a second? Louise Lester? Not yet.
No. I'll second it so we can have a discussion.
This is point of order. I was under the impression that you could not make motions or vote by phone. You had to be in person to do that. I may be wrong, but the last I knew that was the case. And if she made the motion, then maybe that would make this void.
Then I withdraw my motion, and I'll just say yes or no on it, and
Well,
ask questions.
Hold on, Teresa. I don't know the exact rules in the town of Raymond. I do, however, know that I have called in and asked the question, not at the select board level, but at committee level, and when the answer to my question was yes, I could call in and do it, but I don't know if that transfers to an elected body versus an appointed body.
All I can tell you is, and I don't know, I haven't researched the law, but if that's true, the town of Fry Island's in big trouble and out of business.
Well, the state of Maine is too.
As long as you allow someone to call in, they have every right.
Yes, they do.
As like they being present, so.
We have meeting, I'm on a state board, and we have meetings by telephone all the time, and people
Sue,
make
if you,
motions and.
I'm in the process of doing this, George.
no, that's all right, but don't do it now. Sue, if you would though, find out whether or not we have to officially make it official that we can Skype or telephone communication in for? Yeah. Might need a policy. Thank
Mayor,
you,
I'm going to
Louise.
hug every one of you guys in that room.
No, you're not. Thank you, Louise. We'll look into it and,
Proceed under home
and
rule
I'm
tonight.
gonna proceed under, yeah, I'm gonna let the motion stand as is, from Teresa. And there was a second from Sam for discussion purposes.
Yep.
So discussion on Article 24.
Looking for my,
We'll take a breath, Teresa, while we're searching through some paperwork here to. The appropriation for Article 24 currently stands at $671,477. And Chief is here to answer questions if need be.
I have a little bit of an issue with the increase of the payroll. $22,000 increase.
Chief, would you mind going to the mic when you get a second?
yes.
I don't mean to cut off your question from Brian, but, so Chief, the way I understand raises in the fire department is that there's a few things going on, and training is one,
Yes.
COLA is one, and then, you know, obviously trying to keep folks involved who are, you know, long-term members. If you could just kind of review for the board, you know, how non-COLA raises are handed out.
Sure. Non-COLA raises are not something that we have been doing in the past often, anyways. When we need to make a gross adjustment to payroll because of we're falling behind or what have you, then we've made proposals and made these things happen. This year we came forward with a couple prongs of this pay increase, actually. One of them includes training, because we have a lot of folks, like I said earlier on in our first meeting, that train, and they're expected to come into the department and do their orientation and training without any pay. Nobody does that. That's really not fair to hire somebody, even if you're running a cash register somewhere, and not pay them for the training that they're expected to go through in order to be released to do the job, if you will. So we incorporated pay for the initial onset or the initial orientation training. The other side of it, or another prong to this, is that we were falling behind because we've held the line for a long time in the fire department, and actually probably one of the first departments to do so back under Dennis Morse's administration prior to being asked to do so. And we really haven't made big adjustments to anything, just the COLAs have come into play for members in the past. But since then, what's happened is everybody else has adjusted beyond where we were. So we have members that are seeking to work other places, per diem. Like I said, Fry Island was one of them, Wyndham's another one. I have an officer in our department as an EMT intermediate and an officer whose responsibilities are fairly hefty, who goes to work for more money as a per diem in a neighboring town and has half of the responsibilities that he has here. These are the things that we're finding are happening more and more often. So we're trying to keep our members here and align our payroll so that we're at least close. These things don't really put us above and beyond where everybody else is. But what we're looking at in the bottom line is an increase of our lowest paid members from $9 and change per hour, about $1 an hour higher than where they are right now this year. And next year, we'll put them another $1 an hour higher. Now, these are folks that require to have training certifications, that are required to have ongoing credit hour trainings, et cetera, throughout their years to relicense or recertify. And we feel it's pretty important that we keep our payroll rates in line with the area so that we don't lose our members. You know, when we get to a fire scene or emergency scene, we need people. They're our biggest asset that we have. And if we can't pay them to keep them, I think that we're failing. Today, McDonald's announced a 10% increase in their base rate pay. So this is something that's ongoing or throughout our area. People are realizing the needs to adjust. I mean, we saw Walmart put out fairly decent raises a couple weeks ago, a month or two ago, for $1 an hour, et cetera. I think we ought to be at least keeping up to get our guys up above the $10, $11, $12 an hour mark. And that's really where we're at with most of our folks. And this does not include our full-time staff. Obviously, they're in a different ballpark, if you will. They're under the 2% rule.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes.
So what you're saying then is the increases that you're putting in the budget are increases to get the staff members now up to par, but that's not even including your full-time. Have you given out any increases now to get people up?
Other than last year's COLA, no. In the year before, we gave a COLA. Whatever we were awarded in COLA, we did award all our membership. This is the first time that we've actually sought to put a plan in place that gets us up there, but it also pays our initial members coming on board for their orientation time and initial training. Did that answer you? All right?
Yes.
Okay.
Further questions for Chief?
I mean, last year,
Absolutely.
you had a $26,000 increase. This year's another $21,000, and then next year you're already proposing probably another $20-something thousand.
Yes.
That's pretty steep,
Yes.
you know.
I understand your
Now,
concerns.
when you bring up McDonald's and Walmart, you have to realize they're going from $8 to $9 an hour. That's what they're doing.
Right.
They're not going, from, $9.98 to $12 next year. That's not what they're doing.
Right.
And that $1 an hour raise, and even McDonald's announced it's $1 over what the minimum wage is in that state.
Right.
So some states it's only going to be to $8.25 an hour because they follow the federal law. And the hard part about being a selectman and dealing with the fire department is everybody supports the fire department. But when you look at it from a fiscal perspective and you're looking at 20% raises over the last 2 years, how do you justify that?
I look at it as 20% of $9.86 an hour.
Yeah.
When you have to hold the license and certifications and you're called out at 2 a.m.
It's still 20% no matter how you look at it.
Percents are percents. There's
Right.
no getting around it.
Right.
I agree with that. But I have to look at the bottom line and what we expect these folks to do.
When they're on call, are they getting paid this?
No, they're getting paid on call $2.50 an hour. When they're on a call or an emergency, that's when this rate
So there's
kicks
really no more volunteer fire department, pretty much.
in. There is not. Yeah, pretty much everywhere you go.
Pretty
it's
much
gone.
everybody gets paid now.
Correct. It's pretty rare to find any true volunteer departments. However, some of the biggest ones are in the biggest cities in the New York area, and they are truly volunteer there. I don't know how they do it, but this state and this region has not for a long time now.
Further questions for Chief?
I mean, is there any way to not make this so dramatic to say, all right, you'll get $11,000 this year, figure it out, and then slowly get to where you need to be? Because where this budget stands right now, in total, I am not supporting it.
Right.
So, I need to see a real cut in dollars from where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see a line item that's a $21,000 increase,
Yes. I know, 21,000 is a substantial amount of money. There is no doubt. I have to look at the service these folks provide and what they do and say that where we're going with this is warranted. We could spread it out over 3 years. By then, Wyndham, it's unfortunately that battle. When we do per diems or things like that, you're always in a constant competition with your neighbors and who's paying more. The folks
Well,
will
and
go there.
all I can relate to is my industry and other businesses I've run. If the work environment is better than the competitor, they're gonna stick with you for less money if the work environment's better.
As long as it isn't too far. but-
Right, as long as it's not too far apart. So,
I'd say the work environment's exactly the same, and we're not on the winning end right now, unfortunately. I just look at it and know what these folks do, and I don't know why they do it sometimes, I really don't. But the things that they're exposed to and see, and I know there's some level of, we choose to do it, that's for sure. There is some level of that with the membership. But nationally, numbers are dropping. They're dropping at alarming rates. The amount of training and certification that these folks are required to do is astronomical.
and the
we're
people who
competing.
actually do this kind of work are getting older.
Well, that's it, too.
People
We're not
who
young.
have a commitment to a community. Your young bucks aren't doing this job anymore.
You're right. Our average age, I believe, is 50 now. It's
Right.
48, 50, right in
Right.
that area. Absolutely. You know, the other side of it is that we often and always will compete with, but if we're trying to, daytimes are horrible, we know that, to get staffing when we have issues and calls. When someone's making $25 an hour at their job, they're not gonna come back here for $10, $11 an hour. I mean, we know that. So we're just trying to get somewhere reasonable so that they're not making a ton of money off from it, obviously, but they aren't, you know, a cashier either. These guys are highly specialized, these folks, I gotta be careful. Men and women are highly specialized in their training and very dedicated, so.
Further questions for Chief? Teresa, you have anything else?
No.
The Article 24 currently stands at $671,477. There are no further questions. I'll ask for a vote.
Wait, question.
Okay,
Sorry.
it's okay.
So if I have that motion on just for open up for discussion, if there's questions regarding salaries, is someone going to amend that, or are they going to just leave it the same?
I haven't heard an amendment yet.
Okay.
Any further discussion, comments? All those in favor of Article 24? Teresa?
Yes.
All those opposed? Article 24,
Well,
Article 24 as moved is not passed.
I'm gonna make a motion that it comes in at $666,477, which is a cut of $5,000. And I'm gonna leave it up to the chief to find $5,000.
I will second that.
Hold on, please.
Sorry, I couldn't.
Hold on, please.
Okay, the motion is $666,477 with the prerogative of the chief to find $5,000.
Was there a second?
Yes.
It's been moved and seconded, Article 24 at $666,477.
Discussion?
Yes, that's where I was going next. Teresa?
Good. All right. Well, if we're doing that, it's hard not seeing you guys. Honestly, I guess I would like to see the building maintenance lowered, to be honest, too.
What Joe's proposing is a lowering of the total budget and letting Chief figure it out.
Yep.
So it's a gross number, not a line adjustment.
Right, but what I'm saying is if he's doing 5,000, then I guess I'd like to see another 5 off that to make it 10,000 less.
On the building maintenance.
Are you doing a specific
If he
line
can-
item or a gross?
Gross. Because I say take it off of the building maintenance, but he has the final say over where he's going to use his money.
Why do you say that? Why do you say
What, the
building
final
maintenance?
say?
No, building maintenance.
Oh, because they have guys that live there, and it's not full all the time. I mean, like I said before, I run a daycare with little kids running through my house, and I mean, I think if everybody took care of things and picked up after each other and watched I don't know, the building's not in use, the whole building all the time, to have that, and
So there's amendment on the floor to further reduce the 666,477 to 661,477. Is there a second?
Yes.
It's been moved and seconded to amend the 666,477 gross number down to 661,477. Is my voice loud enough for you, Sue? I'm trying to say it twice so that it gives you a chance to catch up.
So, in your motion, do you still give the fire chief discretion where he finds that money?
Yes.
but I think that's how it is overall anyways, isn't it?
Well, no, not if you're telling them you want to take it out of building maintenance, you're telling them where to take it out of.
No, I'm
My
good with
proposal said, go find me $5,000.
And I'll second that. Go find me another 5,000, yes, so he
Okay.
can take it
So
where he
hers,
wants.
right, hers was on the gross amount, which is, I did ask for clarification, and even though she was suggesting where. Discussion on the new amount, 661,477, which is an amendment, which has been moved and seconded. So we're currently talking about the amendment to the motion.
Yes, I'm a huge proponent of the fire department and rescue. I've needed it more than once. They've been fantastic. It's just we're in a hard time here to, for me to accept that full amount is really tough, but I'll be the first one to say I'll be the first one to help you try and find a way to make that up. Fundraising, something to that effect, be the first one. Because I do understand where you're coming, but I feel that all departments of the town need to give a little. I mean, even the select board, we gave $6,000. I'm assuming that all 5 of us didn't take our 12.
No, we have
Oh, so it's
20.
two.
We saved 3,600.
It
So,
may,
I mean-
it may go up, but it won't, it can't yet. So.
Yep.
Bruce?
If I can, just to clarify, Teresa, for you, yes, we have folks who live there 24/7, and our building is used fairly heavy. There's at least 3 nights a week where there are groups in and out, and daytimes where there are other groups, Raymond Waterways and things like that are in and out. We wax our own floors, we strip and wax our own floors, we do maintenance on our own stuff, we vacuum, we clean, we paint and wash walls, we mow the lawn. We do all of those things there. That money in that particular line item, and I know that wasn't where it came from, but I just wanted to be heard on that, if possible, does cover all the maintenance items that we incur, broken things like that. We have to upgrade our locking devices. We've got a couple of those that need to be done to computerize for the scan tags so that we have better security in our building. Things like that, but those are just some of the items that I wanted to clarify that, and we're adding the fire alarm into District 2 this year, and the projected cost is from, I think it was $6,000 to $8,000, somewhere right in there, off the top of my head. So that's where some of these increased costs did come from.
Okay, so that 5,000 off the main total shouldn't be, I guess, harsh to you then if it's, off the total amount.
The total of 10 probably will be, but
Yeah, I mean, what you're
Most
asking with 10,000 is about 1.5% cut. At 5,000, you're around 0.7%.
And I honestly was looking for more like almost 1%, like 0.9. So it'd be more like 65, 7,000, which is irrelevant at this point. But
Well, where would you ask for it then, Lonnie?
Partial payroll. I would
Because
have,
I had about payroll before.
what? Excuse me?
I had questioned about payroll before. Same thing.
It's too bad that we haven't had the minor jumps throughout and that we're trying to take a leap now. That's the one that's tough to take.
Further discussion on the amended amount?
Just so you know, I won't be supporting the 10, but I think 5 is doable.
And even though I seconded it, I will not be supporting the 10 either. Because as I think
I
more
can't
it's gonna
support
be,
the 10.
10's a little too much.
So I'd like to move the vote on the amended amount of $661,477. All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Opposed? The amended amount fails, 1 to 3. So we're back on the original new amount motion of $666,477, which is a $5,000 reduction from the article as presented this evening. Further discussion of the motion for Article 24 at $666,477. All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
So Article 24 passes at $666,477 as a yes, vote 401. We good, Sue?
Yes, a little dizzy, but okay.
Yep, okay. All right. Next article, Article 25, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $16,222 for the animal control account.
Move to accept Article 25.
Second.
Discussion? Questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Yes, 401. Article 26, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $21,816 for the infrastructure account.
Make a motion to approve article, or recommend Article 26.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Whoops, sorry. Teresa?
Yes.
Yes, 401. Hey Teresa, are we on delay?
I had to turn it off because watching you on TV you are like 7 seconds on delay.
All right, good. So if we swear, you won't hear us. Or you will, because you'll hear us on the phone.
Right, I won't see it on TV.
All right, excellent. You'll get that, that black screen for a second. Article 27, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $687,418 for the Public Works account.
Make a motion to recommend Article 27.
Second.
Any discussion? I have a question on, hi Nate.
Hi, Mike.
As I was talking to folks through the grapevine, at one point we were talking about the road maintenance budget separate from the bond budget for roads.
Yes.
And I missed the discussion point on that. So are we gonna try to do both this summer? or
Yes,
we are?
we actually just met with a paving contractor yesterday. We've got $960,000 worth of paving marked out for this year, and we've got another $200,000 that we're looking at doing on Mountain Road, and some of that's some contract services. So we're gonna tip into the reserve account, probably $200 to $250 this year.
Good, thank you. I hadn't heard the explanation and I heard the question. I appreciate you filling me in.
They're gonna have enough crew to do all that.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna do it in two stages. They're gonna come in this spring and do some overlay for us and do the reclaiming work while we do the construction work on that road. And then they're gonna come back in the fall and pick up the other half of the surface work out on North Raymond Road and Spiller Hill.
They probably won't come till after you unpost the roads though, right?
Correct.
Okay, good. After mud season.
Mud season goes away.
Yeah. June? July?
I was hoping like tomorrow, but I really have high hopes. I don't think it's gonna happen.
And you do feel that they'll stay on that schedule?
Yes, yes. I made it very clear to them, and they're very excited that this is their 9th year with us.
And they go right into what, early November?
Yeah, the
Depending on
latest,
weather.
well, surface you want to get done July, August. The binder you can put, we put binder down right ahead of the plow truck, so. We'll be into November, the beginning of November when we finish up this year.
Well, I mean, I'm excited that you're gonna do a lot of work this summer.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
are
that's
too.
what, that was the intent of that bond and giving you extra money in the maintenance is to get it done, so.
But no, we're excited to get it done.
Yeah.
Keeps everybody busy and gets roads, hopefully everybody's happy with the work we're doing.
Any other questions for Nate? Seeing I pulled him up there. Any other questions about Article 27? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
401. Article 28, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $314,742 for solid waste.
Make a motion to recommend Article 28.
Second.
Any discussion about solid waste? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
401. Article 29, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $20,048 for cemeteries.
Move to recommend approval of Article 29.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
401. Article 30, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $14,338 for Parks and Recreation account.
Recommend to, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sam.
No, you do it, Jim.
Okay, I make a motion to recommend Article 30.
Second.
Any discussions? All those in favor? Opposed? Oops, Teresa?
Yes.
Article 30 is yes, 401. Just a reminder, we are still looking for a savings of approximately $5,000 from the tax increment financing, or TIF, which is Article 16, which we put on hold. Article 31.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion to take 5,000 out of the TIF money from the library and move it to Article 31. So it'll be, so I'll make a motion to recommend Article 31 at the amount of $53,000.
Second.
Discussion? Any discussion on the library?
Joe, what does that bring our, this year?
It'd be an increase of $13,000 over last year.
13 or 12?
Actually, 12.5.
12.5. Stays the same.
Because, yeah, we got a $500 maintenance agreement, so.
So it, Sam, it does not change the overall appropriation, it just moves
Yeah.
where the money comes from.
Correct.
I'd like to make an additional, or how do I add to this? I would like to make a motion that we appropriate this year 15,000 rather than the 12.5.
So add 2,500.
Yes.
Second.
So there's a motion on the table and then an amended motion on the table to raise the library's funding amount in Article 31. The original recommendation was the 53,000, which moved 5,000 from the TIF and increased that from the 48. Then the amended motion would add 2,500 to that, which would bring Article 31 to a total of $55,500. Thank you. So discussion on the amended motion. Anybody? All those in favor of the amended motion for Article 31 at 55,500? Teresa?
No.
All those opposed? Teresa?
Yep.
It's a 2-2 tie. Guess this is where I come in. Being the library representative and understanding the concerns of the board through the budget discussions of not exceeding the 50% of funding for a non-town department, I share those concerns. However, I will put a challenge out to the library to raise an additional 2,500 if we raise 2,500, so that at the end of the year, if the townspeople vote for this, that we are not funding you more than 50%. I am willing to break the tie and send it to town meeting at the 55.5, but I would not be able to support more than 50% next year, if I can put it that way. So the motion at 55.5 on the warrant carries in a 3-2 vote. And the library 5,000 was moved from TIF, as was 5,000 for the RTP bus. So that gives us 10,000. So
more we can go, I think.
So I'm gonna leave Article 16 still open until the end of the meeting. As we go forward, Article 31 passes amended at 3-2. Article 31. If I said 32, I apologize. Article 32, to see whether the town will vote to carry forward any existing fund balance in the capital improvement, which is the CIP account.
Make a motion to recommend Article 32.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Article 32, yes, at 401. Article 33, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $996,886 for the capital improvement account, otherwise known as CIP. Is there a motion? Is there a motion for discussion purposes?
Make a motion to recommend Article 33.
I second.
Article 33 has been moved and seconded. I feel there's room for discussion. Discussion on Article 33? So if I look down through some of this list, bond payment, we can't touch. So that rules out the 240 on the public works. It rules out the public safety bond. Rules out the sand salt bond from last year. So it rules out 240, 355, 460,000, the way I see it, is untouchable out of the 900. So that still leaves over 500,000 that could be adjusted. Any discussion?
I mean, you already heard from Nathan, that money in the maintenance or paving account's already pretty much tied up, so that not somewhere I would go. Public Works Equipment Reserve, is that a new number?
Public Works, Nate? is
Do you
that-
have something in the works?
Yes, that's up 50,000 from last year. We're looking to replace the 1988 F800, which actually is going to move the 06 International that we bought 7 years ago now. We're going to move that into that spare truck position.
Okay.
Is this a dump
That's it.
truck, Nate?
Yeah, it's a
That's what-
full-size.
That's what a 800 means, dump truck?
Yeah, I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
the F800's a 8-yard single axle dump truck. The replacement value, that's going to be a 3-year payment. The replacement value on that truck's 160 to 170,000.
So are you planning to purchase it on a loan, or you?
Correct. That was going to be my proposal, was a loan. Do a
This would
3-year
cover
loan.
that loan.
Yes, it will. I hope.
I mean, the two places I'm looking here is the technology equipment for this place, and then the IRT money. For Patricia.
IRT.
Those are the two areas that, in my mind, are open for discussion.
My understanding on the IRT money is that you lowered the request to do a phased-in approach, to do a frog pond study, which might not happen until middle of summer,
Right?
and a traffic study.
Yep.
And then if that proceeds, we can go further,
Yep.
or potentially. And then the technology equipment I am not familiar with. I am familiar with the Patricia Avenue just because it is something that I've been looking into.
What was on the docks for maintenance and improvements for the municipal facility?
What we have right now is the upgrades in the town office. It's right around 36,000, and my plan for 2015 was to upgrade our fuel pumps at District 2. We're going to move the diesel pump out where it's a little easier to get at, and replace the pump, and go to a modern computerized generating what vehicle takes what fuel.
That
We're on a-
1950s pump won't cut it anymore?
It's been kicking pretty bad. We got into that cold weather this winter. It wasn't
Kinda
really
gelled
liking
up
it.
on you?
Yeah, it wasn't going so good. A little scary underneath with a butane torch trying to heat the pump up to get it to work.
Yeah.
I think that pump's actually, I want to say in the 70s. So,
Yikes. Further discussion, recommendations on Article 33?
Is the IRT, the Patricia Avenue thing set in stone
In terms of what, Sam?
in terms of how much we have to pay to get the phase 1 done?
I think it's an estimate.
Yeah, I actually think that's a fairly low number to do that. The
Is it?
question is whether or not you want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a gamble any way you look at it. It's
Yeah.
rolling the dice.
From the discussions, the idea of doing the wetlands delineation, or, frog assessment, however you want to look at that, tells you, not only whether it's suitable for a ballpark, but it gives you an idea of what you have for land. It's any kind of
Yeah.
utilization of that land, whether, be for a ball field, or for sale for development, or whatever, or for retaining it for some other municipal purpose. So, even if the ball field fails, that's not wasted money. Same goes for the traffic study in my mind. You've got any kind of improvement you put up there is going to be, subject to the 302 traffic. So those are both valuable things in and of themselves. Then you get into the debate of whether there's value add for recreation and all that, but you've saved that debate now for another day.
Hasn't changed my mind.
Assuming you get a favorable on these, which you don't know.
The last time we did, the vernal pool study and that, we actually took it out of Selectmen contingency.
Yeah.
You are already taking the vernal pool study out of contingency for this project.
Because
we
we're
are.
doing it this year.
You voted to give it, you voted at one of the previous selectmen's meetings to do that.
Okay. So this must be just traffic study money and preliminary work for a site, all right. Further discussion on Article 33? All those in favor of Article 33 at $996,886? Teresa?
Yes.
All those opposed? Article 33 fails at $996,886. Is there a new proposed amount for
Yeah.
Article 33?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a recommendation of $986,886 with $10,000 coming out of the technology equipment for the broadcast studio. My thought is there's $51,000 that they get for maintenance and updates in their technology department budget. They get $59,168 and or $165, and I think they can find $10,000 out of that account.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, so to me, the technology equipment upgrade will be $41,749.
So there's currently a motion on the table for Article 33 at $986,886 with a lowering of the technology line item from $51,749 to $41,749. Is there a second?
Second.
Yep, just a second. Any further questions or comments about?
Yes.
Yes, Teresa.
If technology needs more money to fund this, they can take it out of their technology budget line, correct?
That was pretty much what I said, Teresa.
Sorry, Joe, fading here.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll cut you a break because you're sick.
Dominic, do you want to?
I just had a quick question. It was suggested before that the Roadrunner cable modem and the GIS monies be pulled out of TIF. Was that ever revisited? Because that's a lot of money.
That has not been
Kevin said he would
revisited.
support it.
That has not been revisited tonight that I know of.
Well, when I spoke to Kevin, he said he would support it. If you did, that would cover.
We just took 10,000 out.
I'm just looking to see if it's in the adjustments from last week's workshop. Is that when you think it was?
They mentioned it. I don't know if they revisited it.
No, we never did it.
No, I don't see it in our summary, so it has not been taken out. Don?
I probably won't do justice to this because I'm trying to quote an email, but I think Lori had sent an email, and I wish she now had sent it forward. I suggested that she do so to clarify things, but I think there was the way the wording was between the two sources of funding made it confusing and seemed like it was duplicative, overlapping. It's not. So what happens, I think, with this is that it's going to be 10,000 less somewhere. I guess they'll have to decide where that is, and I guess it'll be in the broadcast end. But I don't know what impact that has because the equipment that's needed is needed, and so you're going to maybe you can speak to that or not. But I think it's going to be we're going to have to find something that we get another link to another year with. Correct?
Yeah, basically, change the whole plan.
Right, but so it's not like you could just go to the other fund and say we're going to take the 10,000 there for the broadcast studio. That's all obligated money for the routine upgrading of the infrastructure of the town. So I mean, it is something that will require replanning, I guess.
You're saying it's pretty much all or nothing?
No, I'm saying, well, I don't know.
All or a drastic downgrade?
No, I'm saying it's all or find $10,000, which is what you just decided. Find a component that's valued to that, or component or components that has a value that sums to 10,000, but we still can keep on track somehow with improving and keeping the station reliable. So I don't know the answer how that works, but that's what it means.
And to chime in there, I guess what happens is if they've priced out everything, they've got all these components, but wait a second, we're down 10,000. There's one component out of all of them we can't buy. So the way I look at it, this 51,000 to me is a package bonus, is what it is. So that's the whole deal. That's not just pieces. That's the whole deal. Switching our system over. The way I look at it. So taking 10,000 out of that to me, I think it hurts the upgrade. I really do.
Dawn?
The one thing you could do, though, I mean, if you wanted to, would be to do this, to make this challenge and see what they can do with it. And then if it were to be approved, then, you could reopen the discussion if you needed to later from contingency, is the only thing I can think of. If it's not doable somehow, if there's not a way to plan around it and push some cost into the next fiscal year, or whatever it is you have to do.
Obviously, I'd make an attempt to make it work, no matter what.
Right.
Even if nothing was approved.
Well, that's the first attempt, is to make it work and make do with the money that's approved. But if there's caused some critical, failure point, then you could always come back if you had to.
So Article 33 currently stands at $986,886. Further discussion, questions? All those in favor? Teresa?
No.
Article 33 passes 3 to 1 to 1. Article 34, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $647,964 for the county tax account.
Motion to say no.
There's a motion on the floor to say no. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Further discussion about no?
April Fools.
Huh, I don't know how to deal with that in parliamentary
I
procedure.
know.
All those in favor of Article 34 as presented? Opposed?
No. No. All those in favor of Teresa's motion?
Well, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Not in favor of
which
Article
is-
34.
No.
Yes. All right, all in favor of Teresa's article as presented? Opposed? Teresa?
I'll make a motion to recommend Article 34.
Second.
Any discussion on Article 34? Further discussion? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Article 34 passes 3-1-1. Article 35, to see if the town will vote to appropriate a total sum of $1,497,343 from the estimated non-property tax revenues to reduce the property tax commitment.
Motion to approve Article 35.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Yes, 401. Article 36, to see if the town will vote to authorize the selectmen to accept or reject grants, donations, and/or gifts of money to the town of Raymond.
Motion to accept Article 36 as written.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
5-0, Article 36. Article 37, to see if the town will vote to accept certain state funds as provided by the Maine State Legislature.
Motion to accept Article 37 as written.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Teresa?
Yes.
Yes, 5-0. Article 38,
Motion to accept Article 38 as written.
That doesn't require a recommendation.
Second.
Okay.
That's a more notification.
huh? I tried.
I was getting into a rhythm.
I know, you were ready.
All right, can we go back to Article 16 now?
So Article 16 currently stands at, to see if the town will appropriate $226,000 from the tax increment financing district, the TIF district, that has been lowered by 5,000.
Well, it's actually 226,876.
Yes.
Sorry, 226,876, which means we have to lower it further by $876.
I'm gonna make a motion that the Sebago Lake Health Rapid Response Team is a duplicative service with Raymond Waters Protection Association. So, and I understand that they're trying this new thing and see how it works, but I'm not sure the town should fund something for a private citizen that hasn't been proven yet. So, I'm gonna make a motion that we remove the Sebago Lake Health Rapid Response Team amount of $1,500.
A second.
Discussion on a lowering of Article 16 by $1,500, which would make it 225,376.
Correct.
$225,376 by removing the Sebago Lake Rapid Response Team stipend. Any discussion?
Yeah, is there any more explanation on that?
No, because she's been sick every time we've had a meeting. But she's trying to get every town to donate something,
Right.
and it's dealing mostly with Sebago Lake, and
But what does it have to
it
do
has to do with
with?
milfoil.
This was not Milfoil. Sebago Lake Rapid Response Team was not Milfoil.
Well, yeah, it has to do with milfoil, doesn't it, Don?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all about milfoil. So RWPA is already
Yeah, I
dealing
was
with
gonna
that.
say, yeah, they've got
And
a
so,
substantial program.
yeah, this is a program that's not vetted out yet.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
But that gentleman that came in and talked to us said that even if we put $1,500 in,
Yeah.
it may not be on our side of the lake.
right, exactly. That's why, until we see what they're actually doing, I'm not sure we ought to put any money into it.
Okay. Motion, that would be good.
Further discussion on Article 16? So Article 16 currently stands at $225,376. From the start of the evening, we've taken out $5,000 from RTP, $5,000 from the library. We've transferred both of those amounts to other accounts within the budget. And then just now, we have taken out $1,500, just taken it out as opposed to transferring it to get to our number of $225,376.
So we've actually taken out $14,000 total.
No, we've taken out 11,500. RTP was 5, library was 5, Sebago Lake Health was
No,
1,500.
you gave 7,500. Oh, you're talking just in the,
Just out of the tip.
just in the tip, okay.
Yep.
I'm looking, overall budget, we've
Oh,
taken
no, I
out
haven't.
14,000.
Yeah, I haven't done that, no. All those in favor of Article 16? Teresa?
Yes.
Article 16 passes 401. So Joe, do you have a running total of what we've just done this evening?
The grand total should be 4,123,694, if my math is right, Nancy.
Nancy, have we been able to spin your head this evening to try to keep track of
I have
that?
not been keeping a running total.
Okay, so you'll have to verify with Sue that that's the number we think it is, but whatever number it is, the warrant has been recommended as is to the town meeting. I am now sending along the signature page for the warrant this evening. So,
Can I sign that tomorrow?
Yes.
yes, probably you can sign it any time you need to before the budget committee meeting a week from next Monday. So don't come in and give anybody anything.
Exactly.
Teresa, any parting words?
Nope, I'm done.
All right, thank you for participating.
You must really be sick.
Yes. Thanks.
Good night. So Brian, I believe that the Budget Committee will receive a updated version from the town prior to your meeting in plenty of time, which will include, I don't know if you saw in the email string tonight, there were how the adjustments have happened.
Yeah, it's great.
And then there will be a further addition to this to what happened this evening. For anybody interested, there's a budget finance meeting on Monday, the 13th, to go over what the select board just went over in terms of their recommendations to the warrant for town meeting. And that meeting is open to the public, and all are encouraged to come and participate if asked. Next.
And it's at 6:30.
And it's, oh yes, thank you, Brian. The Budget Finance Committee always meets at 6:30 rather than the Select Board, which meets at 7, so. Next item on the agenda is item D, the Civil War Memorial for Medal Honor recipient to recognize Daniel S. Milliken.
Daniel.
Did I say Daniel?
What did Danielle?
Danielle. Oh, definitely not Danielle.
Back in the Civil War days, yeah.
Civil War. Sue, I know you're working your way up to the mic. Take your time.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, stiff.
So, good thing the camera wasn't over there. What this is a gentleman who was awarded the Medal of Honor in the Civil War. And when he was buried in Raymond, he got a regular, I guess, regulation Army, or Navy in this case, Navy, headstone. But there was not a flag initially put on his grave. There was nothing on it that says more than his name and the date that he died. It doesn't state that he won the Medal of Honor or anything of that nature. And that was brought to the attention of, I think, Louise, like several years ago. 3 years ago. It was put forth to the proper organizations to get this rectified. And then it was federal organizations, and then they changed the rules on how they would provide for the recognition. So now it's been put in the lap of the American Legion in Wyndham, and they are working to try and get the monies raised for the headstone. And they were, the last I knew, still needed, I think it was $300 to complete this. And the selectmen at one point had said that if they still needed money, they would consider helping with this. So that's what they're looking for. They're also looking for what would be a good date to do this recognition, and how many of you or who of you may be interested in participating in it. Mike McClellan has said that he'd be interested in participating. They would like someone to read the original citation at the ceremony. They're trying to get reenactors at the ceremony, so they'd like to make this a nice big deal kind of thing, get the media out.
So Sue, they've proposed a couple of dates, I believe, and then I saw through traffic in email that if we had a 4th of July celebration, it might be good to do as part of that day. Is there a recommendation from the town on a better day?
I think we like, and we means, I guess, Dawn and Danielle. I
Yes.
don't know about Sue, if I can speak for Sue, but we had a great meeting this morning, early morning meeting of the Raymond Revitalization Committee, and we're talking about this first, hopefully annual, 4th of July. Some people would argue maybe close to the 4th of July, but not the 4th of July celebration, community event. I think that's a great time to do it. Of course, there's also the, Memorial Day, but I like to incorporate it into one of the events of our, hopefully annual celebration. And the 4th of July seems like an appropriate time to recognize somebody who won the Medal of Honor. But either way.
So I had no
Don, what day is the,
The 4th is a Saturday.
Saturday.
so it would be the 4th of July, you would have the 4th of July celebration on?
That's it.
That's
yeah.
what you're shooting for?
That's what they're shooting for.
Is it official that we're going to have a celebration on the 4th?
I believe it is, although it hasn't come to you yet for approval. It'll ultimately be you because they're asking the town to be the chief sponsor, so you'll have the final say on all of this.
Because if we're not having a town celebration, I think Memorial Day is probably a more appropriate time of year to do it.
Right.
So if
Yeah,
that was going to fall through, then
Yeah, that's another risk factor, is it could fall through. So, I mean, if you want to go safe and appropriate, it's Memorial Day, and I think that would please the veterans group, and it certainly would not displease the July 4th people, and they have plenty of ideas and plenty of other events, so I don't think anybody feels like strongly about this. It's up to you.
On the
I like
4th
it.
of July, you know, you have the Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was
that's-
gonna say that's part of it right there.
It kind of ties into the Civil War. But
Oh, I know, but I'm saying it's really up to you.
Well, 4th of July we are gonna end up, as a member of the revitalization committee, I know perfectly well we're gonna end up with a major celebration on that day, major. And that would be the time to do it because of the media opportunities there and that sort of thing. Number two, as a Korean veteran, I want to just let you know right now that I want to participate in this.
I think they need one selectman as an active participant unless there's nothing that would prohibit the additional selectmen if they wanted to say something and to join in. We certainly can make the ceremony as much as we want it to be, but the specific thing they wanted was one selectman to read that short description.
Yes, yeah. But they would welcome anyone
They
who
would
wanted to.
welcome any,
very
particularly
much so.
veterans, people who are veterans who, like Sam, if you wanted to.
I volunteer to do that right now.
Okay. Further discussion on the date. Let's talk just about date right now. Sounds like the 4th is a great idea. It sounds like the revitalization committee is represented by Sam as much as they can say. We are definitely doing something there. They're moving in that direction.
I'm quite sure we're moving in that direction. I wasn't at the last meeting, but
Yes, I would say yes, but I think the question was it a guarantee or something along that line? And
I don't know that you
I
can
never guarantee anything.
Okay.
But
But I think, yeah, it's highly likely.
So, Sam, if you're willing to, as a veteran, read the proclamation, I think that is appropriate.
I'd be very
Unless somebody
pleased to
else
do
has
that.
I'll
desire to do it.
make a motion that we select Sam Gifford as the person to read the proclamation whenever this happens. You know, I don't want to specify a date right now because we don't really know yet, but we're in
that's a good
favor
idea.
of it, and Sam will be there as a representative from the
be
select
very
board.
proud to do it.
Okay.
Thank you,
Is there
Sam.
a second?
Yes, second.
All those in favor? Now let's move on to the $300. Is there a motion to donate $300 from Selectmen contingencies?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? That was unanimous, Sue. And it sounds like whatever day we can make it work, we'll make it work.
So do you want?
With the preference of July 4th.
Preference of July 4th.
Next item is consideration of a quitclaim deed for Clifford Woodbury as submitted by Sue Carr.
Make a motion to grant a quitclaim deed to Clifford A. Woodbury Jr. at map 45, lot 7, book 30940.
Good. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I can't raise my hand. He's my brother-in-law.
Okay.
So you're abstaining.
3-0, 1 abstention.
Well, they even spelled your name wrong on this, Sam. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Samal.
Small Gifford.
Small Gifford.
That is a rather
Sounds quite
worldly
cool.
sound
Sounds
to
like
it,
a
doesn't it?
cool name to it. Well, you can't sign it if you didn't vote on it.
Small.
Yeah, you
Sam.
can't sign it if you didn't vote on it.
Yeah, that's right, I didn't.
Sorry. Setting you up.
Way to go, Lonnie.
Yeah, no, blame it on me. Big shoulders. It's all good.
Next item on the agenda is a merit pay system discussion. We had a presentation from the comp committee at our last meeting, and we've been discussing the possibility of looking into a merit pay system for the town, or some sort of hybrid system that would allow some form of merit pay to be introduced into the town. I have asked Dawn and staff to put together a current list of job descriptions and pay rates of all of our town employees. So that is being worked on and will be forthcoming in the next few weeks. We'll get that. And so I'd like to open up for us to discuss how we might proceed with this. My initial suggestion is to put a 2 or 3 person committee together to look at the information that's provided by the town. I would love to have somebody with HR experience as one of those folks, and for that 3 person committee to come back to possibly a larger committee or the select board with recommended ranges of pay for our employees, using the survey, using the internet, using other towns' job descriptions, however we can do it. If the 3 person team, 5 person team, I'd like to keep it a small working group if possible, is not comfortable after they dig into it, I think they should report back to the select board and say, listen, it might be a little bigger job than we thought going in, or we can't make a recommendation. But I would like to see a recommendation on at least levels and hybrid job descriptions, something we can talk about by the end of summer.
When was the last time we had job descriptions updated?
Sometimes they get updated when we have new hires, because we haven't had a lot of turnover. So I can't say a system-wide overhaul, probably 10 or 12 years, possibly.
Have we ever thought about hiring an HR consultant to actually look at that?
At the job descriptions?
At job descriptions? Do you ever audit your personnel files? Who's your HR person? Your designated HR person?
The designated HR person is the finance director.
Do you audit your personnel files?
What do you specifically?
Make sure everything's up to date. Your I-9s, your
Yes,
your
yes, yes.
W-4s, all that
And the
stuff.
auditor does a random check every year
Yeah.
for that specific, exact.
How about disciplinary action? Do you have all updated disciplinary action in the files?
Yes.
In the files.
What you might want to do is, I should have it together. I think you gave me a deadline of mid-month.
I mean, Department of Labor will come in and audit your personnel files.
Right.
To see if they're up to date.
Yeah, I don't have any concern about that.
Yeah.
As far as the job descriptions go, I think the first step may be, maybe, and I don't want to suggest how to go about this, but maybe take a look at what you get, and then this sounds like a good way to go, but I don't think the job descriptions are going to be, but then again, I mean, I don't want to prejudice the discussion. I think that you should see those to be in fairly good order, and so I think to see those first, before you judge them, I guess, would be what I'd suggest.
You know, I'm thinking your policy manual for personnel has probably not been updated in a long time.
Well, that's underway as well,
Yeah.
right now.
So it may not be a bad investment to hire an HR person. There's a lot of them out there to come in make sure your files are all up to date, look at your policy book, look at your job descriptions.
I think we're in the process of working that out, because we had, one of my companies where we have 3 human resource people on staff, very widespread state to state, which is irrelevant for the town of Raymond. But we're going to be, helping Don and Nate and going over a handful of different things. I think that after we get that analysis, I think we'd be able to push the board or suggest to the board and have a little better discussion about it in a month.
That's good.
Yeah,
in that month or so, because that will be going down in in the next few weeks.
yes, I feel that's right on the personnel policy piece. On the merit pay piece, that's a different thing altogether, and you can try Mike's approach, which is to see, you may have somebody in town who's willing to volunteer, or some people with that expertise willing to volunteer, or you could certainly, people do that by the hour. There are a couple different options you could do there, but maybe.
I mean, to me, you can't have a merit pay discussion until you have policies and job descriptions in place.
Right, but that's why I'm saying wait to see what you get first,
Yeah.
possibly before. I mean, I don't know. It's a chicken and egg problem. I don't know if that's going to make it clearer or less clear once you get everything, but maybe once you get everything, you have a workshop. I don't
In
know.
my eyes, you absolutely have to have cut and dry. This is the SOP. This is, this is the job description.
Right.
In order to be able to suggest the
Right.
best route of how to pay this person.
Right.
That's true, but you also have to have an HR specialist. And I'm not, you're not, because they report to you,
Yeah,
and that's, and
absolutely.
neither Joe, so,
Yep.
Yep.
I think that, best bang for our buck is to
Yep.
hold off on this for a little while longer.
Yep, until we get the job
We
description.
really do.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing? The other thing and this was a request that Sam made, I informed Mike the other night, but the other thing that we're doing, Sam asked to put together a town-wide for 2-year major accomplishment list, which we're doing, and that's actually done. It's so that'll be incorporated in with the job descriptions and the other material that Mike asked for. There's more than just job descriptions. There's going to be a spreadsheet with a lot of information on it, so that'll be done hopefully within the next few days. I'm hoping to get that out ahead of expectations.
Don't rush it.
Not rushing.
Okay.
I want to exceed expectations.
Okay. Louise?
Louise Lester, 10 Hartley Lane. A few years ago, Nathan Bohr tried merit pay. Didn't last very long. And I think part of the reason was...
In this town or in the
In this
current
town.
Thank you.
I think part of the problem was each of our departments is so small. Every one of us has to back everybody up. In the clerk's department, which obviously the one I'm most familiar with, we all are trained to do everybody's job with the exception of Nancy, of course, being finance director. But she also does car registrations, and she does boat registrations and birth certificates and whatever that might be needed if we're running short of personnel. How do you judge one person against another in essentially, I guess you're talking about a job description against a person to determine what kind of a raise this person might get because of extreme betterment of the position or the work that they do. You can't. All of us, I know in the clerk's office, do 100%, maybe 110%. I wouldn't know as a department head who to give extra money to because they went over and above. And I'm sure Nathan's the same way. All of his guys work straight out. They do whatever they're asked to do. So I'm just wondering if it's a worthwhile endeavor to even consider merit pay. I know other people obviously disagree with me, but I just, in such a small town with so few employees in each department, I would find it very difficult to make that decision as a department head. Thank you.
I think it's very possible that we'll, Mr. Chairman, end up looking or considering a hybrid system where it's merit pay for a few that's a possibility. I mean, we don't have to look into
Well,
but we need to look into it, of course.
It's not like this doesn't happen every day,
No,
you know?
does not.
People have merit pay systems all the time. I mean, I don't pay all my employees the same amount of money. Some are better than others.
Absolutely.
Some show up to work every day, others don't. You know, there's all kinds of factors that go into a merit pay system.
If you pay someone the same as the person next to them, then they're
Yeah.
only gonna produce the same.
Right.
Or you're not gonna strive for different levels.
I
So
mean,
in my eyes, if there's more than one person, it should be merit pay.
you know,
Well-
unless you want to make it a union mentality and say, here's your job description, do not do anything except what's in this job description, and you're all gonna get paid the same amount of money.
Right.
Which I think is not what we want to do. I think we want to reward people who go above and beyond, who
I
put the
quite
time
agree,
in.
except
Yeah.
that, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No.
interrupt you, Joe.
But I mean, it happens every time out there. Every day, companies have a merit pay system. Only in municipalities do people say we can't do that because the town next door is not doing it. So,
Sam?
Well, and also, one of the problems, I think, is, and it can be looked into, but one thing that we need to recognize is that everybody knows everybody else's pay rate and salary in the town, and they don't in a company,
Right.
at least the company I had.
Exactly. That's,
So, that poses a problem.
There's
Right.
gonna be lots of things to discover and try to define as we do this, if we don't find
Yeah.
other examples or easy examples, but I do think it's worth looking into. I mean, at the end of the day, we may say, geez, it's not worth it, but,
Yep.
or we may
Yeah.
come with, half and half, or we may,
Right.
I mean, who knows what we'll see.
Exactly,
But I do think it's worth the discussion,
right.
so.
Absolutely.
What I'm hearing is we should wait a little while. I am hearing some, I think from Sam and from Joe, that to make sure that we don't shortchange ourselves on this without professional help if we should get it. And I hear that as well, and the idea of professional help also would keep it
Objective.
objective, yes. So, okay, good. Well, I'll keep this on the agenda for next time and we'll see where we are and
Great.
I think we don't wait for approximately 5 weeks. Thank you for your input.
The anticipated timeline for the material, I'm hoping is next week. I'm hoping to beat it by a week. But at worst case, 2 weeks.
Next item on the agenda is public comment. Anybody in the audience this evening want to have a comment? Yell at us?
Brian, it's
Thank
the
us.
first time you've never had a comment.
Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item, Selectmen comment. Anybody on the board have a comment they want to do that hasn't been brought up yet? I have an update from the library. The Raymond Village Library has a new standalone website. It can be found at www.raymondvillagelibrary.org. I am almost 100% sure it can still be linked through the Raymond website as well. But I know they're very proud of that. They've been working on this now for better part of, I think, about a year and a half. And so it's worth going to take a look at. There's a lot going on at the library. The Raymond Village Library has a pass to the Children's Museum and the Theater in Portland, which was donated by a trustee, and that pass can be checked out just like a book. The second Raymond Garden Tour will be June 27th from 9 to 3. So for those folks who want to get a peek into the backyards of some of your neighbors, please mark June 27th down as a fundraiser for the library and a chance to see some gardens around town. And on Monday, April 20th, the third annual science event, which is a presentation by Wildlife Encounters, will take place at the Public Safety Building. And Wildlife Encounters is a family-owned business that teaches about animals, habitat safety, and how people can save species. They will bring animals that children will have a chance to touch, and I'm guessing that adults will be allowed to, but specifically here it says children will be allowed to. So depending what age you are when you approach, maybe that's a limiting factor in terms of how old they think you are. So the event is for all ages, and you can find out more at the Raymond Village Library website. Thank you. Other folks?
Yeah, can we go back? I need to come back to this budget, the articles. I didn't see an article that had the grand total of the entire budget.
No, I didn't either, actually.
Don't we usually? You don't have to?
We don't, we never have. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
Is it the school warrants that do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, because that's a single vote.
all right. Okay, that's fine.
So no, we can't go back, Joe.
No, I'm just proving my age, that's all. But I did remember it was in the school warrant, so.
Doesn't make up for the age.
Well, the age doesn't go backwards, that's for sure.
I'm holding glasses, Joe, it's gonna be full.
Look, I'm wearing full-time glasses now, Sam.
Any other selectmen comment? Town manager report?
Well, I guess I would tell you again what a great meeting we had this morning at the donut shop. That was the Raymond Revitalization Committee, and there's a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm around this possibility of the July 4th probability, certainty, metaphysical certainty, whatever it is. It looks like it's going to happen, and what this, I would encourage anybody here, anybody who's watching, anybody who has any interest at all, to come to the meetings, get involved. There'll be something there of interest, I'm certain, for virtually everyone, if even half the ideas come to fruition, and I think they will. So that was a very good and exciting meeting this morning, and I believe there'll be more frequent meetings as we get closer to the holiday.
I think Teresa volunteered for Dunk, a select board member. I believe she volunteered for that.
She did.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I've actually done that myself, not Dunk, a select board member. Would want to do that. Never done
Could be a
that.
good fundraiser.
But I've
It'd be a fundraiser,
been in the dunk tank myself when I was young at the Rockland, festival, lobster festival, and it gets old after the first 8 or 10
Well, she
times.
said it has to be ice cold, the only
Yeah.
way she'll get in it.
Right, she wants ice in.
Ice.
Ice in the water.
Ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're volunteering, Teresa, and she
Yeah.
agreed.
And
so-
I have a lot of money and a strong arm.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, T.
Yeah.
So I want to just tell you about that. That's pretty exciting stuff, and it's. I guess the other thing I would say is we have our next meeting planned for the 12th at May 12th.
How are folks for May 12th?
May 12th is good.
It's on my calendar.
Is that it, Don?
I probably could think of some more stuff, but that's probably enough.
Okay. Lonnie, you're up. You got any warrants?
No.
No warrants
We
tonight?
did it, we did them
Did them last week.
last week, yeah.
Ah.
Someone else did it for me.
No, you weren't here.
No.
Motion
They
to
did a better
adjourn?
job.
Second. Thanks a lot, buddy.
All those in favor? Thank you all.